Michael is really successful and great at what he does for a number of reasons. First of all, he's incredibly fast study.
He's always interested in learning more than maybe the person next to him. And having that knowledge and being able to bring it into other conversations has always been very helpful for him.
He can juggle more balls at the same time than anybody I've ever met. I've never understood how investment bankers can work in a pit and there's 17 phone calls happening at the same time. He's the kind of guy that could have, 3 phones on his shoulders while he's talking to someone else while he's trading.
So I always like to say that my dad's a storyteller. He's never short for any descriptions or anecdotes. I think part of that is his English major that he did at UC San Diego, and that's always helped him sort of creating relationships with people, which often are business relationships.
He's got an insight that makes him the world leader in finance that he is.
My dad likes to take his knowledge of various industries to help UC San Diego highlight that it really is more than just a science and mathematics school. He's a very good example of a change maker because there's a lot of people who can dream up great ideas and put them down on paper, but he's the kind of person that will show up in San Diego every other month and make sure that those changes are really happening and try to implement some of the strategies that he thinks of with some of the faculty and leaders at the university.
His family's, it's all about giving back. His wife works with troubled youth that have been incarcerated and helping them turn their lives around. And all 3 of his kids are very, very active in the community. So I think he's a fabulous role model, and I think he offers a lot.
Dad, congratulations on being this year's Changemaker for UC San Diego. I know it's sort of just the start. There's a lot more to do, and you're excited about everything that the future holds.